Welcome back to another edition of Gen XYZ, where we have three generations in the workplace that have to get along whether we like it or not. And we talk about challenges that pretty much everyone faces who has to work for a living. I'm Pete, I'm the Gen Xer.
I'm Peter. I'm the millennial.
Ooh. I'm Ashley. I'm the Gen Zer.
Today, I'm pretty excited about what we're going to talk about because we are very, very close to launching our massive job search guide. And it is going to cover everything that a new grad needs to solve the job search challenge. We know that people are coming out of college, not really getting a lot of training on that, not really equipped to tackle the modern job search process. And we're going to help solve that. And specifically today, we wanted to talk about LinkedIn because that is such an important part of anyone's day to day and presence who's looking for a job. So, are you guys ready to tackle that today?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, LinkedIn is one of those areas that it's something that seems simple to us because we work in recruiting. But after talking to a lot of new grads recently, it's something that is completely not in the front of their mind. They are out of the loop on. So I'm really glad we're covering this.
We're not going to take anything for granted today. And that's what we've learned as much as anything else by interacting with so many people entering the workforce for the first time is we need to start from scratch. And that's okay. So if you don't know these things, you are in good company. It's good that you're here because we're going to help solve the LinkedIn challenge for you. And so step one, you have to have an account. Got to be in the game to start with.
Go to linkedin.com, set up your profile, make sure you set up a strong password as you should with any website, because this is going to have a lot of your personal information, a lot of your contact information. Recruiters are going to be ideally reaching out to you here. So you want to make sure you have two-factor authentication set up, all your recovery, all of that good stuff. Just make sure it's nice and tight, set up and secure for you.
And like every profile, you need a picture. So have a good headshot of yourself. I know when I graduated college, we had some headshots taken of us when we were taking our graduation photos. So if your college does that, great. If not, head over to Walgreens. They take headshots for you just like they do for passport photos.
No pictures where you've cut out your ex significant other. It's very obvious when anyone does that, and it's just not a good look. This is a professional site. It's not like Facebook or Instagram. This is a professional site. If you're on LinkedIn, you need to always think about your career and perception first. So when you're putting up your picture, it doesn't have to be a professional headshot. It just has to be professional looking.
This is an area that I want to spend actually a little bit of time on, because your picture is going to be the first thing that people see when they go to search you, when you come up in, on the filters, on the searches. So this is an area that I guess I'll deviate a little bit. I don't think it necessarily needs to be a headshot, which is something that a lot of people will say that it has to be a headshot. It can be, as long as it is a clear, well lit photo of you in, business professional or professional dress. I've even seen people in polos, in business casual. That's fine too. Anything that is a clear, easy to recognize photo of you. Something that I've seen recently that I do want to call out. A lot of people have been posting in my searches. I've seen people have been posting photos that are group photos of them at work. Don't do that. Don't post photos where people have to guess which one is you. It should just be you, a close up of you singled in on the photo.
Now, I don't know if we can consider this a tip, so let's see what you guys think. But a lot of people have been using AI to also generate profile pictures for them. AI will generate a professional headshot for you. What are your thoughts?
I think it depends on how AI it looks, right? Is it going to look like a cartoon or is it just a computer generated version of you that no one can really differentiate? I think that's okay. And if you're in a creative role, it could potentially be to your advantage to do something slightly different. Now, I want to keep that in check. I don't want to encourage anything to have an image that looks like something Salvador Dali created. But if you are in a creative position, you might want to let your creativity shine a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad you called that out, because I have seen some people, particularly graphic designers, where they'll have maybe like a doodle version of themselves or something, and that's fine, but it's got to be in a industry that directly relates to the types of positions that you're looking for. So after your photo on your profile, the next thing that you should really be paying attention to is making a great headline. So Pete, I know you got some good thoughts on this. What do you think a new grad should be doing here?
Well, the first thing a new grad should do is indicate that they are a new grad. That's something I believe in very, very strongly. This is your headline that anyone who looks at your profile is going to see first. So tell them who you are and what you're looking for. Something like, I'm a 2024 graduate of Florida State University looking to start my career as a digital marketer. If you have room to put skills in there, that's fine too. But you do have a finite number of characters you can use. So keep that in mind. But I'm a big believer in announcing that you've recently graduated and make it really clear what you're looking for in a career opportunity.
This is an area where you should definitely customize it because by default, I think LinkedIn will just take your last role and say X at X company, marketing intern at Google. And that's fine to have something there, but it's really kind of bland and it doesn't differentiate you.
I want to briefly mention something that a lot of new grads can improve upon, and that is making it explicitly clear what you're looking to do professionally. If you have a liberal arts degree, it is not going to be clear at all to the person looking at your resume what you want to do professionally unless you spell it out. So always consider that on your resume, your LinkedIn headline, in your objective statement or about on LinkedIn. You have to make it really, really clear what you're looking to do with your professional life.
Yeah, this is actually going to be kind of a theme of this video. Having a headline that says recent grad open to opportunities doesn't really tell me much about you other than that you just graduated.
Make it easy to be recruited. That's the message that we really want to deliver here.
After creating a captivating headline, you want to jump into your About You section. Now, after I graduated college, I didn't think this section was going to be important. And I will admit, I was lazy, and most of you out there might be like me and not think it's important, but it's very important. This is your elevator pitch, almost like a cover letter. You get to highlight your academic achievements, your key skills, and professional aspirations. So don't skip out on it.
Yeah, this is an area where you can really write in your own words who you are, what you're looking to do. This is, other sections like Pete had mentioned are going to be capped on like character limits. This is a nice little area where you can just write a paragraph in your own words about what your wants and desires are.
Just remember to be concise. Recruiters aren't going to read a novel or your life story. So 3, 4, maybe 5 sentences max. Let them know what you're looking for. Let them know what you can do professionally, and get some keywords in there. You don't have to accomplish everything in this very short paragraph, but it is an opportunity to make the points that you want to be made. So anyone who sees your profile will see you in the right light.
The next section on your profile is listing all your relevant experience. Now, this is something that people who are starting out in the industry that they're trying to get into, they struggle a lot in because they might not have a lot of experience. But if you have part-time jobs, internships, volunteer work, that all counts. So make sure you're listing anything and everything that you could possibly relate to your industry.
You also want to make sure that you're using action verbs to quantify your contributions. So an example of this could be like social media intern at XYZ company, increase social media engagement by 30% through strategic content planning and execution. Now that sounds great. You want to also avoid listing basic duties without highlighting what you achieved in each role.
Yeah, that's such a great way to put it, Ashley. And I'm really glad you made that point. Be concise with your bullets and just always think achievements over duties, and you'll be on the right track.
This is something that relates to resumes as well. But when you are listing the things that you did at a company, always try to list numbers, things that are specifically measurable, because hiring managers and recruiters look for that. It's a lot more impressive to say I increased sales by 5 million than to just say I increased sales. So always keep that in the back of your mind.
As a recent grad, an important part to building your LinkedIn profile is adding your education. So where did you go to university? What was your degree and year of graduation? Were you in honors? That's all important to add.
The education component of a LinkedIn profile or a resume is critical to get right for a recent grad. So you want to highlight anything that's going to make you stand out. And even though this is LinkedIn, I want to briefly mention where your education should go on your resume. It needs to go at the top. It is your best attribute as a recent grad. I hear confusion about that a lot, and I don't want anyone to get that wrong. Always put your education up top when you're recently out of school. And then years down the road, when you're old like me, you could put it at the bottom because it's not going to be as important.
And also add any extracurricular activities. Like if you were marketing club president and you're looking for a marketing role, this will look great on your LinkedIn profile.
So the skills section on LinkedIn is an area that I like to pay particular attention to because it's something that I find that a lot of new grads and just people in general don't really understand. So this is an area where you are able to add different skills that relate to everything from accounting that you might have done to sales to customer service. You can just add them as skills to your profile. And when a recruiter is searching or posting a job, they actually can add those skills that they're looking for to the job. What LinkedIn will do is it will then show up your profile as somebody who might be a potential match. And if you're on the candidate side, you will actually see recommended jobs that have the same skill sets. So this is an area that you should always max out and always pay attention to.
Now, I've never been on a dating app, but I understand the whole point is to try to get a match between what each person is looking for. And think of it the same way when it comes to your skills section. Recruiters are looking for candidates with a certain set of skills. So you should list your skills that will show up in those searches. The more skills you have that are relevant to the type of job you're looking for, the better chance you're going to have of coming up in a recruiter search.
I do want to say one more thing on skills. Always make sure that you're adding skills that you actually have experience with and that you actually can back up. Don't just add random things in the industry hoping that you're going to get noticed, because that's a really bad look. People can endorse your skills. So if there's somebody that you have worked with in the past that maybe can attest to your, say, Google Analytics skills, ask them to endorse it. That's just going to make you look stronger on that. So this is something that you should really pay close attention to. Use skills that you have had experience with in the past.
Cool thing about LinkedIn is you can have a recommendations section. So if you want to reach out to old professors, old high school teachers on LinkedIn, old employers, they can write a recommendation for you and it'll show on your profile.
Yeah, the more the better when you're starting off, because you're probably not going to have that many connections. And so those recommendations can really help you stand out because it's going to be a testament to who you are and what you can do. And that's what employers are looking for. They're looking for people who can stand out. And the biggest indication of what they'll do once hired is what they've done in the past. So recommendations really can make a big difference for you.
And one quick tip on that, when you are asking for recommendations, make sure you're professional, make sure you're polite, and don't nag people, don't bug people multiple times, bombarding them with messages. Ask once, maybe twice, just to follow up. But if somebody ignores you or it declines, just move on.
LinkedIn has a generic message that you can send when asking, but I recommend going an extra step and reaching out to someone very personally, sending them a direct message or even a phone call if it's someone you know well. That'll help them be more inclined to actually do it and feel good about it in the process.
Something a lot of people don't know about LinkedIn is that you can customize a personal URL with your name.
When I joined LinkedIn probably 20 years ago, it gave me my name by default. But as LinkedIn has grown, there's a lot of numbers and digits that get added to profiles. So you can change those, like Ashley said, and it's worth doing because you want to put that link on your resume wherever possible. The cleaner it is, the easier it is to understand, and it actually looks like it's you, the better results you're going to have from it. I think we've covered the bases on LinkedIn pretty well today, but let's just go over the key takeaways one more time before we wrap up. Let me start. First impressions matter. Starts with your headline and your photo. Use keywords. You want to be found on LinkedIn by recruiters who are searching for candidates for their open jobs. And the more keywords you have that are relevant to the positions you're looking for, the better chance you're going to have of being found. You want to show what impact you can make. So everything that you have on your LinkedIn profile should have that in mind. What can you do for someone who hires you? Quantify results of the past. Remember, as we talked about already, think about highlighting your achievements versus just your duties of things that you've done. And then use recommendations. That boosts your credibility. And then ultimately be easy to find. That's where customizing your URL will help. Try to make it as close to your actual name as possible.
So that wraps up our episode. If you follow our tips, you will have a really great profile. You're going to have recruiters and hiring managers ready to find you, and hopefully you will find your next great job.
Also be on the lookout for our job search course that is coming soon.
Bye for now.
Thanks.